Today's question looks at coaches under pressure. 3 coaches in the triangle in the ACC. Which coach is under the most pressure this year? Because I overthink everything, I've ranked the 3. I didn't just choose one. I put them in order.
All right, fair.
We'll start with the least pressure.
Okay.
Manny Diaz.
Yeah, new guy.
New coaches. It used to be you get like a 3-year learning curve where it's like now it's like a year and 4 games.
Used to.
But a year and 4 games is longer than 1 year, so you're good.
Hey, look at that.
This year, good, bad, or indifferent, as long as there's flashes, as long as there's something positive and it's not a complete disaster, you're pretty much going to be okay. Now, I do think people, particularly Duke fans, Duke boosters, and that sort of thing, really like the trajectory of the program under Mike Elko, and they're going to want to build on that. But I think even the most ardent fans realize with a coaching change comes expectations have to be slightly lowered, and with Riley Leonard transferring out and going to Notre Dame, there's going to be that transition also. So least Manny Diaz.
All right.
Middle, kind of second.
Okay.
Mack Brown.
Okay.
His legacy is super secured. I just think it's hard. Once you have a national championship ring, once you've had the Hall of Fame career, I think it's really difficult to be the coach under the most pressure when at any point in time you can go, fine, I'll retire. And it doesn't change your legacy at all. He wants to win, don't get me wrong. And he's all in to win, and he's going to be building the program to win and all of that. But it just doesn't change the like long term of his career much. He's secure. And again, when you lose a guy like Drake May and you're replacing it with a quarterback competition, I feel like there's some realistic fans out there that go, yeah, you're probably not going to be as good as you were last year.
There also might be some that say, hey, wait, you went from Sam Howell, NFL quarterback, Drake May, NFL quarterback. Who is that next guy? Like, who's the next in the pipeline? And also, you didn't reach expectations even when you had those guys. So what can we actually expect from you this year?
Yeah, and that's where the little bit of pressure does come from, the whole underachieving thing.
Sure.
Which is why you're in the middle and you're not third. Most pressure, though, Dave Doeren, NC State. There is pressure that comes with going all in. This is very much a chips in the middle season for NC State. They've really gotten after it in the transfer portal. They seems to have fixed the things that were holding them back last year. They had the Robert and Nye kind of growing pains that they've went through, and I don't know. It's here's where the pressure comes from. You can't point to anything and say that's probably the reason they're not going to win. And that's a really dangerous place to be, right? I talk about this. Anytime you play golf with somebody, there's one person in the group. What do they do before the first tee? Man, my back's really been acting up. You know what? I just got my clubs re-gripped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a little more damp out here than you were thinking. I
shouldn't have that popcorn.
And it's you do that before the round even starts, so that way if you're playing bad 6 holes in, you're like, yeah, I knew my back was a little tight. I was expecting to play dry conditions on the course. The dampness is really messing with my mind.
It's really been a while since I played.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to the range the way I wanted to. NC State doesn't have any of that, right? There's nothing before the season that you can start already. It's like, yeah, the offensive line. Oh, you mean the offensive line that you boosted in the transfer portal and returned a bunch of guys for? The ones that you got a 2-year starter from Notre Dame at? Oh, the wide receivers really, we're going to need them to step up. Oh, you mean the ones that already have one of the best returning wide receivers in the country in Casey Concepcion, a 5-star transfer in Noah Rogers, another solid transfer with ACC experience in Wesley Grimes, not to mention a couple of veterans returning and 3 studs straight out of high school recruits that are top 300 recruits in the country. All right, yeah, that's probably not something we can lean on. And you could go position by position really all the way through the team. And maybe it's not perfect, but there's a lot of very, very, very good. So, to keep the conveyor belt rolling for NC State, I think they need to win. And it's close to like you need a college football playoff appearance. Because if you get, I've made this reference in the past, but if you get your boosters to give more money than they've ever given to a name, image, and likeness collective, to go ahead and buy, the best transfers you possibly can, the number one tight end, one of the number one wide receivers, one of the number one offensive linemen, one of the number one quarterbacks, and then you go out and lose, it's going to be really hard to get everybody to go all in again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be hard for everyone to buy right back into, like, wait a second, you told us that last year, and we didn't get the results that we wanted.
Meanwhile, if you do win large, I'm talking ACC championship, maybe a college football playoff, then it's the proof is in the pudding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's, you gave us money, look what we did. Give us money again, we'll go do that again. And you can start up the conveyor belt, right? Think of it like an investment firm. I don't know, you're a new investment firm. I'll give you $1,000. 6 months, they come back and give you $1,500. All right, well, let's give you $2,000 this time. Bring them back $3,000 in 8 months. All right, let's give you $10,000 now. Eventually, all right, I want you managing my whole portfolio because you keep showing the returns. Meanwhile, I give you $1,000. You come back 2 months later and say, didn't get you anything for it. Can I have another $1,000? I'm probably going to go no.
Yeah, probably not.
That's where NC State is right now. They've had the commitment. They've had the donations. Everybody went all in. You have to bring them back some profits if you want them to reinvest and give you more. That's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. And it's also like the coaching thing, right? Like, if it's pretty obvious you got all the talent you wanted. You handpicked it from all across the country. Now you have to coach them up. Now you have to scheme them up. And that's on you, right? We know Grayson McCall can be a college quarterback. We've seen him do it for the last 15 years at Coastal Carolina. We know Justin Joly is a really good tight end. We saw him do it at UConn. Feel me?